It's Daggy and Beaver with you for Show Us Your Tips, powered by progroupracing.com.au to look towards a nice little midweek card at Rosehill, where they've managed to dodge most of the rain we seem to have got overnight in Western Sydney, which is nice. How are you travelling, Beaver?
Pretty good, thanks, Dabster. Moseying along just fine, thank you, mate.
How's the weekend? Yeah, I'm all right. School holidays, so I'm a bit mad, but anyway.
Yeah, it's the way it goes. Don't envy you there, mate. Yeah, it was okay. Weekend was okay. Pretty hard to get excited about the punt when you sort of got split meetings on Saturdays and Sundays. So I found that, again, just a bit annoying, but so be it. That's the way it goes for that weekend in the year. But Rosehill, interesting race meeting, affected by the wet tracks, which didn't help. So I didn't really take too much out of that card. And on the Sunday at Sandown, we saw Alligator Blood step up and win, and probably back to its best.
Yeah, I guess you've got to now treat. I think now we have to treat Alligator Blood as, its best under Waterhouse after a couple of years of sort of BS and whatever's going on there. So respecting it, and especially if it gets to Moonee Valley on a track like we got Friday night, I guess it's going to be a chance. So
100%. I mean,
Moonee Valley's frustrated, and I know Moonee Valley's what it is. So after the fact, you can't necessarily upset, but a lot of races, I feel we've sort of found the right horses and just got the wrong track.
Yeah, I think that's right. But yeah, Alligator Blood's good, and Zaki was. I think you might be right, mate. I think Zaki's probably done like a dinner.
Yeah, it's an A grader. Don't get me wrong, but there's some fellow A graders around now that can beat it. And I thought one of the runs of the week was Bella Nipotina. Absolutely outstanding. 3 wide on the rail fence there, and another stride win. So
yes, that was great.
I was on at the price. Didn't help me afterwards, but it's you sort of feel like you've done the right thing in parts. You just haven't collected. So that's a bit of the story of the weekend. Jacquino was very, very impressive, and good luck to it in the Everest. Still think Golden Mile ran well there, outside lead, and I think In Secret, he's going to win. Be hard to beat back to Phillies grade, but I guess we move on. Big weekend ahead, which we'll preview with the Turnbull and the Epsom coming up. One of my favourite days of the racing year, so looking forward to that. But anything else you want to discuss out of the weekend, or should we get to Rosehill?
That's it, mate. Let's move on.
Right. Rails in the 4 metre mark, a soft 5 track, I believe, at Rosehill. And not many scratchings. A bit nervous that it's going to dry out and be on pace, so we'll keep an eye on that. But we start with a 3-year-old maiden over the 1,400 metres. And how are you going to start the day, Beaver?
Yeah, pretty interesting race here because we've got a few that are untried and untested, and a couple that have got a little bit of form and a bit of race experience. I'm going to go for Ring Ahoy. I thought Ring Ahoy was pretty good last start. I thought it was a price and could run well, and it did. Was unlucky probably not to go even closer in that one. $7.50 I think is a good price. Third up here, 1,400 suited.
You're on the right check there. I agree. It ran really well. I thought the debutant Ironman, who's drifted this morning, inside gate might be a concern there, but I think has trialled up quite well for this. And I don't think I have much more to add. Stylized will run well. Was back to the inside last time. Gets J-Mac, probably be further forward, the other danger. But I like what you've said there. The second, and nice prices around both of them, actually. Is a 12-year-old, 1,200 metre maiden. Again, for the 3-year-olds, very deep field, a lot of first starters. A couple I was keen to play on, though. I seem to fall into these colours a lot lately, but Golden Age trials were great. And Map to get right, but just sit right on the back of the speed there for J-Mac, for Tommy Berry. And I think we'll run well here around the $8. Same with Pungo, drawn gate 1, 2 nice trials for the Wallace stable. And the forgotten horse here is Salasil. It's 20s. Went down and debuted behind Giga Kick and another horse who's come out and run well since. My notes have just... Lascars, who's run well since. It comes back to Sydney, quiet trial, and gate 9 may be a concern, but should be able to get a running line there. And as I said, it's a big price, but predominantly with the two debutants here, Golden Age and Pungo. What do you made of this?
Yeah, really difficult race this. All the big trainers got horses that have only had no starts or a start, and they all look pretty good chances in this. I did stick with Pirelli, however you want to say it. I thought its first up run when it was well found in the market was pretty good. Hit the line nicely, only half a length off Great Barrier Reef. Bit of an eye catcher. I think it can improve with that experience, and therefore that's why I've got it on top. Gate 12 will depend where it gets in the run. Obviously, might need to push up a little bit and get itself in. If it gets the right run, I think it can be hardest to beat.
Beautiful. The third is the staying race on the card, the benchmark 72 over the 2400. What have you done with another midweek staying bonanza?
I think the top three in the market look to have it between them. I think they're the three horses you'd want to be looking at. I've gone for Just a Jedi. I like it's been consistent. Probably should have nabbed Father's Day last start, just missed. I think the extra distance here took a bit of time to get into its work there, and Father's Day just got the jump in the lead. I think the extra distance here is certain. I think it'll beat Father's Day home. Main danger, Boise.
Yeah, I've ended up defaulting to Boise here, who will pretty much get run of the race if J-Mac, and has importantly had the 2400 meter lead up, which could be a difference to the two stepping up from the 21 last time. And then the two out of that race are the ones you've identified. The market's pretty much right. Father's Day keeps jumping the bar. Did hit the front a long way from home there and held on. And you've mentioned Just a Jedi, who was the one running it down, and I would not disagree with you. Maybe can turn the tables. Benchmark 72 over the 1800 meters is race number 4. Willinga Ruffio was very impressive, resuming. Should get a track to suit here, jumping straight to the front at Rosehill, and should be hard to run down. Look, there are some other chances here. If everything's been equal, I think Montefelicity back to midweek grade had some concerns last start. Suits here at double figures, and a couple other Coppelson unbeaten for Wallace Stable. Stay, you never know. Jupiter's is talented. White Marlin on debut in Australia. They're all chasers, but Willinga Ruffio clearly on top from Montefelicity. But there are bits and pieces, Beaver, that I'm sure you could make a case for.
Yeah, I think that's right. There's plenty of chances here. Just the pattern of the race, I think, probably suits Willinga Ruffio, depending on how the track plays, and it probably leads up. And if there's no speed that takes it on, and it gets to joggy trot up front, because the other horses in the market, Jupiter's Lukey Luke, who was very good last start, and Montefelicity, who you're right comes back to this grade, looks a chance. They all need a bit of pace on. So the tempo here is going to be critical to how this plays out. Willinga Ruffio has the big weight, but looks to be a progressive type, but the other three are very good chances.
Up next, we've got the 1300 meter 72 for the girls. Anything here?
Yeah, I've gone for the favourite Vivid Flash here. Thought its first up run was very nice. Just sat off them. Didn't have a lot of luck in running. Took a bit of time to get out, and that probably cost it the race. Probably should have just about won that. And then prior to that, was only just beaten by Shades of Rose. I think that looks good for a race like this, and gate 3 looks to get a right run. Hard to beat.
Yep, not much more to add. I thought the value here is Arbitration. Back to midweek grade after chasing Hell I Am. Just got a bit far back there. Admittedly made ground on the rails, but I think can improve. Zach Lloyd, who you'd know probably from Queensland, seems to offer something over the next few months as an apprentice in Sydney.
Correct.
Excellent. Thanks, Beaver.
I didn't know that was a question, mate.
Oh, sorry. It was one of those statements you're supposed to confirm.
Confirmed.
All right. 72, 1400 meters is up next. What have we got here? Look, I'm gonna stick with Narito. You could make a case that it was very unlucky last time, completely chopped out along the rails there. J-Mac has stuck, and I think it's a talented horse. set up for a better run here. Is going to be hard to beat. And I thought that I'd actually had the Waller as the danger. Redina, both runs have been great. Albrick resuming, and Hollywood North has been completely forgotten in the market. So I'm all wallet up here, and I've gone right around the favourite, which I could be wrong, but just the way I sort of saw it. What do you think?
Yeah, I went around the favourite as well. I went Narito as well. I think its first 2 wins have been good, and plenty of excuses last start behind a pretty good horse in Democracy Manifest, who absolutely flew home. I think it can run well again. Sets up nice here. J-Mac on board at the price. I think it's very good value. And you're right, Redna could run well. I think you'll get another good line on its form from the first race, Rings Ahoy, who it beat last start. So watch that, and could run well as well.
And how are we going to take the day home with a benchmark 72 over the 12 this time?
Yeah, good little race this. A few chances. I narrowed it down to 2, but I put Eng Power on top, Eng's Power on top. Third up here, won well first up, and then wasn't the best run at Kembla, but a little bit unsuited there. I thought it can improve, probably a bit of a second up syndrome there. But I think this horse has got a bit of ability. It was only started, it's been out of the placings. I think it can run well. And I actually think Omni-Man, it's been a bit of money for it overnight. I think it can run really well. It was a nice run at first up at Kembla. Probably gets the extra 200 here, which will suit on speed. And we know that may be suited at Rosehill. So again, look at the way the track's playing, but they're the 2 I've got on top there.
Yeah, I've gone Omni-Man on top for all the reasons you've said. Nice resumption. Talented horse, could get a sympathetic track, and you're getting each way price. And I'll revisit Eng Power. She had both scratchings on top. So I'm just looking through now what's left, but it has left with Omni-Man there. Speaking of which, now with my best bet scratched, I need to think about that. So have you got a best in value for progroupracing.com.au?
Yeah, my best bet comes up in race 4, number 1, Willinga Ruffio. I think it'll be hard to beat. And my value bet comes up in race 6, number 11, Narito.
Beautiful. I'm going to make, look, to be honest with you, I'm going to stick with you. The best bet now, Willinga Ruffio, race 4, number 1. And my value for the day will be, I'll make it Golden Age in the second there, race 2, number 6 for the Hawks team, who may have a nice day out after scratchings. We've got some midweek stuff at Cranbourne, which I'm not a huge fan of, but Beaver, you've got a couple of bets. Is there anything there you like?
Yeah, look, mate, just going through the Cranbourne card, very open races throughout the day. A lot of the early races have got a lot of horses that have only had a small number of starts. Some of those are first couple of maidens. I've steered clear to the maidens until the 3rd race of the day, which is a maiden plate. And I've got number 9, Calico Jack on top. Pretty good last start. Finishing 3rd, I think it can progress here and get its first win under its belt from the Mar Eustace stable. Race 3, number 9, Calico Jack. I think in the next race, the 4th, which is another maiden, I think we've got a horse here on top in number 2, Crux from the Moody stable. Nolan, Moody combination, flying. Only had the 1 start, was pretty good. Ran a nice 4th at Sale. I think it came from well back at sort of 11th, 12th on the turn, flew home, gets an extra 200 metres here, should be winning this. The 5th was too tough for me. Then I moved into the 6th race, where I've come up with my value bet of the day here. There at Cranbourne is number 8, Estropaz. I've been consistent of late. This is not an overly tough field. Almost $10 here. I think you can back it each way and get some money back in that race. Race 7, my best bet of the day at Cranbourne is number 3, Obfuscation.
Obfuscation? Saved from last week, wasn't it? This was in last week.
Yes, saved from last week, but its first up run was outstanding at Sale behind Vivian. really think this has got a mortgage on this race if given the right run here by James McDonald. And then coming into the 8th race and the last race, thought the resuming Maramenko can run well here from the Hawk stable, around the $4.50, $5 mark. Goes well fresh. This looks set up nicely for it and got it on top. That's my summary of the Cranbourne card.
Beautiful. You got anything for us up north as well while you're busy carrying the show?
Yeah, Sunshine Coast. I did find a few up there. Race 1, number 3, Count the Beans. I think that can get us off to an early start in the day and get us a winner under our belt. Moving into race 4, number 5, Gander. Tip this last start at 1 for us. I think it can be winning again around the $4 mark from the Wallace stable. Keep an eye on it. Then moving into race 6, number 6, Cronenborg. Second favourite here. Won well first up, flushed home. Hard to beat again here. And then finishing off in the last race of the day, probably one of my better bets on the card. Race 8, number 16, Sabalenka.
Beautiful. Good job there, Beaver, on getting me through this. Hopefully I can return a favour a little bit and get something back for the punters on Friday when we look at Epsom Day and Turnbull Day. Don't forget to check out progretracing.com.au for Beaver's tips from where are you tomorrow? Hawkesbury and Geelong, I believe. We had an article about that, and we'll glance how I over Friday night as well. That'll all be up on progretracing.com.au. Until then, Beaver, good luck this afternoon, and we'll talk to everyone Friday. Friday Arvo. Catch you guys.